You'll love this, I promise. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna need you to look right here. Alright. T-shirt? What t-shirt? What are you talking about? I've been wearing a suit this whole time. Men in Black International. So Men in Black International is the fourth movie in the Men in Black film series. We got some new main characters. It's no longer Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. We now have Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. Yes, that is Thor and Valkyrie. Basically, Tessa Thompson, she plays a new agent to the Men in Black, and pretty much right out the gate, she gets paired up with Chris Hemsworth's Agent H, and they go on a new adventure because there might be a mole in Men in Black in disguise. There are aliens that have come to Earth that are shapeshifters, so now the Men in Black, specifically Agents M and H, have to take them down. And now we have our new Men in Black movie that I actually enjoyed a lot. I'll be honest, that Rotten Tomatoes rating, I really don't get it, because I had a thoroughly great time with this movie. Now, the previous Men in Black movies, I've seen all three of them like once each. I remember seeing the third one in theaters because it came out on my birthday or around my birthday, but it was pretty much like a one and done, like, alright, that was fun, next. So that's my history with the Men in Black movies. This new one though, I'd be willing to watch it a few more times because, again, I had a blast. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, you know they have good chemistry because, again, they've been buddies in movies before. The Thor movies, anyway. One Thor movie, anyway. They know each other pretty well already, so they have good chemistry, obviously. I just love their banter back and forth. It's really well comedically timed. It's exactly what you would expect from them at this point. But I specifically love Tessa Thompson's character. I mean, she has a good backstory that you saw a little bit of in the second trailer, but I totally loved it because it just showed you, no, this chick is really serious about what she's doing. She means to get the job done, and she's not gonna let anything stand in her way because her whole life has been building to this. But she was also a human being, you know? She had some funny moments. And when she's paired up with Chris Hemsworth, who's the kind of laid-back type, funny Chris Hemsworth-ish character you would expect him to be at this point. It's like at a point in 2016 when he did Ghostbusters, he just committed to the funny, somewhat clueless kind of character. Laid back, didn't really take much seriously. And he was like, I'm just gonna play that same character in everything I do from now on because it's just more fun. He even changed his own character of Thor to do it. But what can I say? I like it. He's charismatic as hell. And then you have Liam Neeson in this movie. Liam Neeson, of course, is a badass. He plays High T, the head of the London branch of the Men in Black. And you know, he does his badass Liam Neeson voice. The Men in Black have been compromised. Whenever he was saying something, I was like, yep. That's why you're a badass, Liam Neeson. It doesn't matter what he was saying, just whatever he said, I'm like, you're awesome. Because he's Liam freaking Neeson. Need I explain more? Now, as Agents M and H are going on their journey, they come across this little alien dude named Pawnee, voiced by Kumail Nanjiani. And this character was kind of annoying in a couple of scenes, I'm not gonna lie. He did have some lines that made me laugh out loud, sure. But there were a couple of cases where he started to remind me of Detective Pikachu, because like you have the two human characters, and then you have the side alien creature thing who just blurts out side comments just randomly and they're supposed to be funny for haha humor. Sometimes it worked for me, sometimes it didn't. But he was funnier than Detective Pikachu, so I'll give him that. Not that that's saying much. In my opinion anyway. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I was not expecting to like this movie as much as I did. To me, it was like the perfect balance of lightheartedness and there are some deep emotions in there. I mean, the movie's goofy as hell, but you expect that going in. It's a Men in Black movie. They're not supposed to be taken seriously by any means. In fact, this one's a bit longer than the other three. Aren't the other three like an hour and a half long? They're really short, and that's what the Men in Black movies are known for being. They're just short, fun adventures that are just there to be fun and not taken seriously. So for this one to have a couple of deep emotional scenes surprised the hell out of me in a good way. I mean, it is a little rushed in the beginning, but I knew it would be because, again, it's a Men in Black movie, and it's under 2 hours long. Big budget movie, under 2 hours is gonna feel rushed. That's just a fact at this point. But it wasn't as rushed as some other movies I've seen recently that are less than 2 hours long, that are live action, big budget. It was just a little bit in the beginning. Like, there are two prologue scenes that kick this movie off, and they both felt a little bit clunky editing-wise. I was like, alright, is this how the movie's gonna be? But at least I liked what was happening in those scenes. It engaged me, and then the movie picked up, and I'm like, nah, I'm really digging this. Like, half an hour into this movie, I said out loud, I was like, I'm loving this. And it managed to keep me engaged until the very end. I mean, the action scenes are exciting. You know, the agents are fighting these aliens, and the whole concept of Men in Black, I can't believe I forgot to mention this earlier. I really like the concept of Men in Black. There are these agents that are a secret organization because there are, in fact, aliens all over Earth. And so whenever there's a big attack, the Men in Black, they come, they stop the aliens, and then they use these neuralizers to wipe out people's memory to keep this whole alien thing a secret. I just think that's an awesome concept. So when Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are fighting these aliens, they're using this technology that's just, it does not exist in our world, but it looked awesome. Like, they have an awesome car that's just souped up with weapons. One scene in this movie, man, I just saw this car and I saw all the weapons that were coming out of this car and I was like, I want that car. Cause that is just badass. Sometimes I'll admit the visual effects were a little imperfect. I was like, oh yeah, that's obviously CG because that just does not exist in our world. Or at least not that I know of. Maybe I have seen one and then they neuralized me, so I don't remember. But from what I've seen in my life experience, I have never seen a train that can go from one continent to another in less than like 5 minutes. Just saying. But it was still cool considering conceptually. It was like Kingsman, but not. Or I guess I should say Kingsman is like Men in Black, since Men in Black has been around for longer than Kingsman. I'll say the villains in this movie were kind of boring because they had no personality. They had like 2 lines in the movie and they just kept stoic face the whole time. Whenever there was a scene that was about the villain, I was like, alright, come on, can we get back to our main characters who are a lot more interesting? I'll say this much for the villains though, they got some dance moves. They're played by the Les twins, and I saw that name, I was like, I know that name. Aren't they gonna be in the Cats movie at the end of the year? Yeah, they are, and they got the moves to be in it, that's for sure. But these villains, they're not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. They're the point, and their banter back and forth, and their chemistry, and the story. And I thought it was just all sorts of awesome. The score in this movie was awesome too. Now, of course, Danny Elfman has scored the previous Men in Black movies, all 3 of them, and for this one, he brought a new guy on board, Chris Bacon. They've worked together before. And of course, they kept the Men in Black theme that is awesome. Dun, 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 dun. Like at several points throughout the movie, I was like, that is the classic Danny Elfman touch that I know and love. Danny Elfman's always been one of my favorite composers. And for this movie, he shines once again. So yeah, in the end, Men in Black International, I loved this movie. Again, I didn't think I would, but I did. I love the characters, I love the dialogue, I love the action, I love the world that this movie takes place in. I love the Men in Black universe. The humor was funny, the action was exciting. It's just a fun, kick your feet up summer adventure for everyone to enjoy, which is what Men in Black is supposed to be. So for Men in Black International, I will say, go see this movie right now. I feel like such a badass wearing this suit. I feel like I should suit up more often. Barney Stinson would be incredibly proud of me. So Men in Black International, have you seen it? What did you think about it? And what is your favorite of the Men in Black movies? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.